Ginormous Jo's Worry Detective. Written, read and illustrated by S C Cunningham. Once upon a time, a huge white cuddly dog called Jo lived with two little dogs called Muttley and Tom, a ginger kitten called Vinny, and a lovely lady called Mary. One day, the loving pet family was snoozing in the garden enjoying the sunshine. Muttley looked over at Jo and whispered to her, "Are you awake, Jo? Do you want to go for a walk?" He didn't want to wake the others. Jo lay on the grass beside him. She looked like she was asleep, but actually she was wide awake. Sometimes she liked to lie stretched out with her eyes closed. She would peer through thick lashes and listen out for her loved ones, making sure they were safe. "Yes, I would love to," she whispered back, pulling herself up off the ground. Tom and Vinny lifted their heads. "Do you two want to join us?" asked Jo. No thank you," yawned Tom. "I just want to snuggle up here." "Me too," sighed Vinny. They both plonked their heads down and went back to sleep. Muttley and Jo trotted off to the end of the garden and followed the path to the beach. They looked out over the big blue sea and saw the coloured sails of racing boats dotted across the water. "I wanted to say thank you, Jo," said Muttley as he stared out to sea. "What for?" asked Jo, turning to her friend. "For helping me get through my sad times when I used to worry about everything. I'm so much better now. Things aren't so scary anymore. I used to worry too much." Muttley felt shy talking about stuff, but it was good to share his feelings with a friend. Jo had listened and helped him very much. He gave her a big hug. "Well," smiled Jo, happy that her friend was feeling better, "it's good to worry about things sometimes. It's natural and it helps keep us safe. It's just that when the worries get too big or too much, it stops us having fun. It's a nuisance for us, and I'm glad you've worked out how to feel better," she smiled. "What was your secret?" "Well, when a fear keeps going around and around in my head, like the feeling that I'm alone or that nobody likes me, I've learnt to stand still, take a few slow breaths, and let my body calm down. I can't think clearly when I'm anxious and my heart is beating fast. I need to think clearly about what the truth is," said Muttley. "Gosh, what do you mean?" Jo slumped to the sand, listening to his every word. "Well, when I feel calm, I can think about whether my worry is the truth or not. And to work that out, I become a secret investigator," whispered Muttley proudly. "Wow, a secret investigator. How exciting," said Jo. "Yes, it's fun," smiled Muttley. "I look for clues to find out what the real facts are. It helps me decide if I need to worry or not. For example, I worried that no one liked me. I thought hard and worked something out. When the dog next door called me nasty names, he was just upset about something else and took it out on me, so he didn't really mean it. Also, I know for a fact that Tom, Vinny and you and Mary love me. That's a lot of people who do love me. So the worry cannot be true, and I can wave it away with my paw." Muttley waved his paw through the air, just like that. He beamed. "How clever you are. You're a detective. Detective Muttley," grinned Jo. "Talking to you helped. Sharing the worry with someone who listens is very important. Thank you, Jo." Muttley looked to the ground and saw a small red stone glistening in the sand. "What's that?" he asked. "Oh my, it looks like a piece of jewellery. Someone must have dropped it," said Jo. "How sad. Mary has a stone like that in her gold ring. She would be very upset if she lost it. It is her favourite piece of jewellery." The two dogs looked around the beach. There were a few sunbathers enjoying the weather. "I'm going to walk past those people to see if I can find out anything," said Muttley. "You stand guard over the stone." Jo lay on the sand with the stone between her two front paws. She was determined not to lose it. She watched Muttley trot off down the beach. He walked past 3 couples, checking them out, before he went on to the next. Jo was very proud of Muttley. When he was small, he was scared to leave the house. Mary and Jo worked with him, doing a few easy steps each day to build his confidence. First, they would just sit on the doorstep, looking out over the garden. The next day, they would step into the garden and play for a few minutes near the doorway before going back inside. The following day, they would move further out into the garden. And during the next few days, they would stand at the far garden gate. Then they would step out of the gate and sit on the path for a while. Muttley pushed himself each day to slowly build up his courage. He was a brave dog, and it worked out well. Now look at him. He's learned that he had nothing to fear and is running off down the beach. If he hadn't tried, he would still be that scared dog at home, having no fun at all. Muttley came running back, excited and out of breath. "I've found out who the stone belongs to," he gasped. "There's a lady there, crying, looking at the ring on her finger. It has no stone in it. This stone must be hers." "Well done, Detective Muttley," beamed Jo. "Your new investigation skills are becoming very useful. Let's bring the stone back to her. You lead the way." Jo gently leaned over the stone and picked it up in her mouth. Muttley led the way, and they trotted to the couple sitting on the sand. The man had his arm around the lady, who was staring at her hand. They looked up when they saw the two dogs approach. Jo gently stood by the lady, leaned her head over, and dropped the stone into her lap. The lady squealed with joy. The man beamed at the dogs and said, "Oh my goodness, where did you find it? How did you know? How wonderful you are! That is a ruby from my mother's ring. It means the world to her. Thank you, thank you, thank you." He gave them each a big cuddle. Muttley and Jo beamed with pride. It was a nice feeling to help someone. They trotted off down the beach, leaving the couple staring after them in wonder. Jo turned to Muttley and said, "You've beaten your worries, Muttley. You wouldn't have left the house not long ago. Never mind solving the mystery of the precious stone. I'm proud of you, Detective Muttley." "When you put it in your mouth, I'm glad you didn't swallow it," grinned Muttley. "Me too. That would have been a very expensive poo indeed," giggled Jo. The two laughed and laughed all the way back to the house. Tom and Vinny welcomed them home. "Did you have a good time?" asked Tom. "Did we miss anything?" asked Vinny. "Well, I've decided," said Muttley. "I'm going to be an investigator." "What's an investigator?" asked Vinny. "Someone who finds clues and solves mysteries," said Muttley proudly. "Wow, Mutters," said Vinny. "That sounds exciting. Can we help?" "Yes, you can be my secret unit of agents. We can solve mysteries together," beamed Muttley. "Oh my! Can we start solving mysteries now?" asked Vinny, excited to be part of an investigations team. Mary poked her head out of the kitchen window and shouted, "Supper time, everyone! Supper time!" The pets scrambled up onto their feet and ran into the house. They loved food. Solving mysteries would just have to wait. Muttley walked quickly behind them. thankful that he'd learnt how to find out the truth and wave his worries away. There was far too much fun to have. The end.